So if there's one thing I'm certain about when it comes on to the end of the invasion of Isshiki Otsutsuki in Konoha village is that he's going to be dead by the end of it. Wagwan everyone, Sanji Uchiha here, welcome back to the channel. And of course today we have another Boruto manga discussion, specifically when it comes on to chapter 49 that comes up tomorrow. Based on when this video goes up, well, it should be one day short, so yeah, it should be tomorrow. But yeah, welcome back to the channel. Of course, shout out to the new and returning subscribers. I realized that my video from yesterday, or about 2 days ago at this point, where I spoke about my expectations and predictions for the upcoming chapter, has been doing pretty well by my channel standards at least. So yo, shout out to everyone that's, you know, watched the video, shared it, just liked it, everything. Just major respect to all I know, honestly. Like, just enough love, respect. So yeah, of course this is more of a follow-up on that video. More or less, I kind of realized there were 1 and 2 things that I actually forgot to include in that video, but at the same time I really wanted to talk about the importance of Isshiki Otsutsuki, specifically his death and how it's going to move the story along. So I'm just going to basically tie those 2 aspects together for this video and, you know, just move forward with the discussion with today's video. So as per usual, of course, again, I would really appreciate if you guys subscribe, share out the video, like if you do, comment, let me know what your expectations are for the upcoming chapter, of course. And yo, once again, shout out for the new subscribers. Welcome guys. Of course, we are here for, I guess, most things Boruto, as I said, but without further ado, let's get right into it. So Isshiki Otsutsuki, as I said in yesterday's video, or 2 days ago as I keep saying, is that Isshiki Otsutsuki is like literally an unstoppable force of nature. He is by far the strongest character in the franchise, especially when you compare him against other juggernauts that have come into the series at this point, like Madara Uchiha, Hashirama, Hagoromo, Kaguya, the works. But honestly, his death, which is inevitable, is established in story that he has only 2 to 3 days left before his current body completely dies off. We know he's reincarnated into Jigen, but for the most part, it just can't handle his overwhelming power. So obviously with that plot point in place, he only has a set amount of time to live, and his death is inevitable by the end of the arc. But it really and truly will impact the arc, or impact the entire story of Boruto going forward in one way or another, and I just wanted to put those forward for this video. So getting into it, number 1, which is like probably the most obvious one, that Isshiki's death is a signal to the Boruto time skip. No, I've talked about the Boruto time skip to death when it comes on to my discussion videos for the manga, and honestly, Isshiki's death is like, it's, to me at least, until proven otherwise, it's, you just can't separate the 2. Reason being is that Ishiki's death, when you really look at it, it's a result of a long process of things. What I mean by that is that, based on what we know from the flash forward, from the fact he only has a few days to live, about Ishiki's strength, we know that him dying is the end result of him remarking Kawaki, him more than likely destroying the village, or causing major casualties more than likely. And that in turn kind of ties back into what I was saying with the previous my expectations video, when I was saying like, yo, of course him destroying the village is going to affect the old gen, set things up for the new gen. Of course, Kawaki being remarked is going to cause some kind of conflict between Naruto's group. The casualties are just going to be skyrocketing, and of course this is going to tie in, it's going to basically resemble the end of part 1 Naruto, where we ended on a low where the hero's morale was concerned, and I think it's just going to inspire the characters to work towards, you know, a particular goal and start training. So it's going to be tied into that, and obviously it's going to tie into the bigger plot of preventing whatever Isshiki or the Otsutsuki clan has planned for Earth, more than likely. So there's that. Of course, as I said, I wanted to talk about like stuff that I didn't include in yesterday's video, which is, yo, and I think this is something like a lot of persons forgot to mention, or I don't think they've considered for the longest while. It's Code and the Tentales, which is honestly, the way I structured that previous video, I spoke I kind of structured it, or I spoke about it. I approached the discussion more so, kind of like I kind of spoke about like, apart from just chapter 49, I spoke about like more or less chapter 49 to 54. Obviously, there's no information about those other chapters, but this whole arc with Isshiki is more like gonna be more than one chapter. And honestly, Code and the Tentales, I wouldn't be surprised if they make an appearance or they're brought up during the course of this chapter. But if not, their function or their role in the story going forward is going to be tied to whenever Isshiki dies, because the thing is, where I also feel like persons forget, this is one thing that was mentioned that I actually remembered as well, is that when Sasuke went to the dimension with the Tentales, Isshiki was talking to the Tentales and said it's not time, if memory serves right, because I didn't really look it back up, but he did speak with the Tentales and say he was going to feed this body to the Tentales. So whatever, apart from becoming a god tree and being instrumental to his plan, whatever is planned for Isshiki and whatever is planned for Code rather and the Tentales is going to be tied to Ishiki's death. So that's another way that's going to really push the plot forward more than lightly. So there's that. Also, my third point where I feel Ishiki's death is going to really drive the plot forward is that right now we're really centered in Konoha, and honestly, by the time this is done and Ishiki's dead, for now, honestly, I feel it's going to impact or it's going to draw in the other great nations. We know the last time we saw them in manga was when Kawaki was just brought back to the village and they were deciding what to do with him, but for the most part we haven't seen them since. And we know that Naruto by right should be feeding information to the 5 great nations, you know, as part of the alliance, etc, etc. But so far Kodachi, Ikimoto, and Ikemoto, we haven't been shown that. So I feel once Isshiki is out of the picture, it makes room, or it pushes things for the other nations like Gaara, Darui, the other Kages to come in, take center stage, and kind of be part of the planning of what goes forward. So there's that as well. Now, in terms, honestly, in terms of this fourth point now, it's kind of very speculative, but I think something like this needs to happen, because honestly, once Isshiki dies, right, think about it, what there isn't a lot. I mean, Code and the Tentales aside, which those are two massive plot points, but honestly, Naruto and Sasuke, if Kodachi writes it, or power skills Naruto and Sasuke like how they should be scaled, you know, beating a Tentales in this case shouldn't be a problem, as well as Code. So it kind of makes the question, what else is there going to be, what else are we going to be fighting against in the story? I know we've long speculated on the Otsutsuki Clan, but we haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen a lot of what the Otsutsuki Clan stands for, if there are going to be more members or whatever the case may be. So I think Ishiki's death is going to act as like a signal to the Otsutsuki Clan, similar to how Momoshiki and Kinshiki found that there was something weird going on in, you know, Kaguya's domain dimension, as I was shown in the Boruto anime. I feel like we're gonna get something similar to that, and we're gonna be introduced to more Otsutsuki members, and we're gonna introduce to be like a time limit for, you know, the characters to prepare for an incoming invasion or something along the lines of that. So yeah, honestly, there's a lot of things tied to Ishiki's death. As I said, the time skip, potentially a signal, mobilizing Code and the Tentales, you know, involving the 5 great nations, the other great nations apart from, you know, the Fire Nation. So yeah, there's all of that to consider with Ishiki's death, honestly. And I just can't wait. honestly just can't wait. Of course, the Boruto manga is going to be something else once this whole conflict with Konoha is done, which the conflict in itself is going to be very interesting.
But anyway, that's all I have regarding, you know, the importance of Ishiki's death. Well, how long am I recording? Basically 10 minutes. Just a short follow-up to the previous video that I did. I hope you guys enjoyed the points I made. I kind of just breezed through. I probably might not even do too much editing or anything for this one. Just you know, one-on-one conversation. Well, you know, one-to-many conversation with, you know, all of you guys here that are tuned into the channel. So yeah, let me know what you think and what your expectations are for Ishiki's death. And of course, let me know what you think in the comment section. Like the video if you did, comment, subscribe, all jazz and blues, and I'll see you in the Boruto manga chapter 49 review. Of course, I don't know if I'll be covering any spoilers for the chapter, because outside of like anime, I don't usually cover like spoilers for like the Boruto manga. It's usually a case where it's like spoilers come out like so close, because by the time this video goes up, I expect the spoilers to be coming out later on after this video goes up, and it's usually just so close. I'm like, it makes sense I just wait and just, you know, get the chapter fresh without prior knowledge of anything regarding the chapter. So yeah, so that's just me at least. But if you want me to cover spoilers and get my opinions, you can let me know in the comments as well. Of course, again, shout outs to the new and returning subscribers. Let me know what you think. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.